New reporting on the collapse of Baltimore's Key Bridge. Crews are in the Patapsco River as we speak, working to recover the bodies of the 6 men who are presumed dead after that collapse.
There is also an effort underway to try to ease the economic impact from the closure of one of America's busiest ports. And we start tonight with Scott Broom, who's bringing us some breaking developments. Scott?
Well, we're standing by to hear from Governor Wes Moore and the Coast Guard, as well as other authorities that are going to brief us. We believe the headline is going to be the confirmation of reporting that's coming out now that 2 bodies have been recovered during recovery operations today. So 2 bodies recovered, with our governor and other authorities planning to discuss that by 5:30 this evening. In the meantime, it has been a long day out on the bay of both recovery and investigation. A dangerous and intense recovery effort continues to locate the construction workers who were on the Francis Scott Key Bridge at the time of its collapse. That includes Miguel Luna, a husband and father of 3.
As we've moved now to a recovery effort, the same commitment that I make to the families is we are going to use every asset to bring them a sense of closure.
The National Transportation Safety Board remains in the early stages of investigating what happened on board the Dolly cargo ship as it left the port of Baltimore overnight Tuesday, then hit a support column of the landmark bridge. The agency will begin interviewing personnel and analyzing evidence from the ship, including the voyage data recorder.
What I hope to release later today is a timeline of events, data that we have that we can provide to the public to show what was occurring immediately prior to the strike.
For the moment, the Port of Baltimore is closed to ship traffic as crews examine the area and work to clear the shipping channel.
And there are underwater surveys that are happening by remotely operated vehicle. Divers will be in the water today to complete that underwater survey.
Baltimore's port is one of the busiest on the East Coast and the nation's #1 hub for importing and exporting vehicles.
The Port of Baltimore is an important port, so for our supply chains and for all the workers who depend on it for their income, we're going to help to get it open as soon as safely possible.
Maryland Governor Wes Moore says the port directly employs about 15,000 workers and more than 100,000 indirectly. Again, a grim mood here at the foot of the Key Bridge as we're expecting a briefing from Governor Moore and other authorities expected to confirm the discovery and recovery of 2 bodies during operations today out by the wreckage of the Key Bridge. They'll be joining us at 5:30 to brief the public, and we'll bring it to you. Reporting live from the Key Bridge, Scott Broom, WUSA 9.
We think of these victims who were fathers, husbands. They were people who their families loved and relied on.
Yeah.
It's excruciating to watch this.
It's such a delicate process too. You're talking about getting this port reopened, but also you have to give these families some sort of closure. And to lose a loved one like this, I can't even imagine. Scott, thank you.
Well, right now, as Scott was talking about, recovery efforts are underway for those 6 construction workers, of course, presumed to be dead after the collapse.
Yeah, our Matt Gregory is live tonight on the Patapsco River. He has a closer look at some of the work that's being done there. Matt.
Yeah, I mean, as you hear Scott talking about this, we're going to show you right here in the shadow of the Key Bridge collapse. We have the rescue efforts, or at least rather the recovery efforts going on, and it's a little bit far off, probably about a quarter of a mile away from us, so give us a chance to get you closer. But this is where the focus has been on the recovery efforts right now. You can see the police boats right there, the blue lights flashing. They only came over within the last half hour or so to the 2 buoy tender boats. You can see the one that sort of has the tannish front of it right there, and they both have cranes over. There's the one just across from it that's white with a crane arm hanging over, and we've seen airbags being deployed around there to bring up whatever is under the surface. We don't know. We've heard Scott saying that we're working to confirm reports that they have discovered 2 bodies, but at this point, you know, this is where we've seen the concentration of the recovery efforts. This is right now, you're looking at it live within the last half hour or so. We've been monitoring this to see what's coming up, what it could be. We also had seen at one point the white buoy tender here listing a little bit. It was pulling something up that was of a great weight. So we're looking to, we're still working to confirm, like Scott was saying, what this could be. Could this be the 2 bodies we're told could have been recovered? That has not been confirmed yet. I want to make sure we say that. But yeah, this has been the most recent development right here is what you're seeing. This is probably, if I had to guess, I'm just kind of eyeballing it here, maybe a quarter mile or so, or maybe a half mile or so from the bridge. And it looks like, as we were watching, one of the buoy tenders, the yellow tannish one, seemed to be dragging something for the last hour over to this section out from behind the dolly, the cargo ship, and underneath what remains of the Key Bridge, and over to here where it met up with the other buoy tender boat, and they're both trying to pull something out. It looks like we've got just an update coming up where Scott is. We're here monitoring it on the ground, and we'll bring it to you, of course, over the next hour or so as we get some more information. But that's sort of what we're seeing here in terms of recovery efforts, everything focused on that area over there. Throughout the day, we've seen various spots that have had different boats going in and out surveying the damage, and of course we'll continue to bring those updates to you. But like we said, this could be the breakthrough we're seeing right here that Scott's talking about. We'll have more, of course, as that press conference comes up. But for now, on the Patapsco River, Matt Gregory, back to you.
Thank our first responders as well. They've been in and out of that water since this collapse, trying to recover those men, their bodies. All right, Matt, thank you. All right, now that the recovery mission is underway, there are efforts to try and get that channel reopened.
The Port of Baltimore remains closed, of course, as incoming vessels carrying cargo are forced to move to other ports on the East Coast. And we've already heard some car companies, even Carnival Cruise Lines, moving operations elsewhere for now.
Yeah, so billions of dollars worth of goods come through the Port of Baltimore each year. The biggest product? Cars. Our Matthew Torres joins us live tonight at the port, where he spoke to the former director about getting those ships back out in the water. Hey, Matt.
So, and there are about a dozen ships still stuck here after that bridge collapse. As we have been reporting, cargo ships are now being diverted to other ports. And all day we've been watching trucks transporting goods under this highly unusual scenario. Tonight, the process to remove the bridge is getting underway to quickly open this vital economic pipeline. What's usually a bustling port of Baltimore has trickled to little activity with the existing containers. This major economic force in the region is still closed after the Key Bridge collapsed. But this former port director is confident the shipping channel will reopen sooner than later.
These people are very resilient in Baltimore, and I think that with everybody working together, it's gonna happen relatively fast.
William Doyle is now the CEO of Dredging Contractors of America. He quickly mobilized dredging companies and equipment to assist in removing the debris. He says expect steel to move this week and large machinery like 500-ton crane barges to arrive.
It's gonna happen quicker than most people would probably expect.
Reopening the port is a different matter from rebuilding the bridge. The port, that's just a matter of clearing the channel. Still no simple thing, but I would expect that can happen on a much quicker timeline than the full reconstruction of the bridge.
There's still the main question of how big of an impact this will have on the economy. The port generates more than 15,000 jobs and receives $80 billion of foreign goods. It's the biggest handler of car shipments in the country and moves many raw materials. For now, vessels are forced to move to other ports on the East Coast.
That cargo will be unloaded in some of the ports before they get to Baltimore, and then it will be railed and trucked around. So you're gonna see the goods still come into the United States.
While there may be delays, Doyle seems confident that not only will we avoid major supply issues, but drastic price increases as well.
We've learned some lessons from COVID. There's a lot of extra product in the market right now, so I don't see prices going up.
Now we're going to see those big machines that engineers can actually determine whether or not they need to cut pieces of that bridge before they move it onto land. It's not just the bridge, but crews will also then have to remove the nearly 5,000 containers on the dolly back to shore. Guys?
When you think that 570,000 vehicles were imported just through Baltimore last year, to try to wrap your mind around the impact of this long term is staggering.
And trying this work around in the meantime. It's a lot of work. All right, Matthew, thank you.
And of course, we are still in the very early stages of this story. Stay with WUSA 9 to keep you updated on every development.
Yeah, and if you have your phone in your hand right now, use it. Use your camera to scan that QR code on your screen, and we will send you a link to all of the reporting we have done so far.